counselor. She loves teaching stress management, resiliency, and coping skills. She is a graduate of Brigham Young University and received a Master's of School Counseling degree from University of Phoenix. She was a guest speaker for Especially for Youth and loves interacting with audiences of all ages. She has 5 children, 3 dogs, and 1 husband. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Michelle Porcelli, presenting as Madame.
As my mama always said, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. Very good. Another phrase I often heard growing up is if you haven't got your health, you haven't got anything, or you've got nothing. I always had a hard time with that second phrase. You say I grew up with a mom who is a survivor of 13 surgeries, breast cancer twice, ovarian cancer, arthritis, hip problems, back problems, TMJ, you get the picture. But we never felt she had nothing. In fact, she made us believe she had everything. She would teach us to control what you can and let the rest go. When I was about 14 years old, I walked into my bedroom and on my pillow was a piece of paper with a poem typed out by my mom from a manual keyboard. Anyone remember those? Wasn't that long ago. So I knew I needed to pay attention. And the poem goes like this. 'Twas a dangerous cliff, as they freely confessed, but a walk near its crest was so pleasant. But over its terrible edge there had slipped a prince, a duke, and full many a peasant. So the people said something would have to be done, but their projects did not all tally. Some said put a fence around the edge of the cliff. Some said an ambulance down in the valley. But the cry for the ambulance carried the day and spread to the neighboring city. For a fence is useful, or not, it is true, and each heart became full of pity for those who had slipped over that terrible cliff, and dweller in highway and alley gave pound and gave pence not to put up the fence, but the ambulance down in the valley. For the cliff is all right if you're careful, they said, and if folks even slip and are dropping, it's not the slipping that hurts them so much as the shock down below as they're stopping. So day after day, as mishaps occurred, forth did rescuers sally to pick up the victims who fell off the cliff with their ambulance down in the valley. I think most of us can agree that prevention is best. I'd like to teach you 3 ounces of prevention. Super easy to remember. They all start with the B. Brain, body, and balance. First, the brain. By raise of hands, how many of you in this room feel like you get too much sleep each night? Too much? Nobody? That's what I know. How many of you feel like you don't get enough sleep? Sometimes you wake up and you can't go back to sleep. Oh, I hear you. I have something that I learned that may help. You're going to breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and breathe out for 8. It's not as easy as it sounds. So if everyone sit up tall in their chairs, you need to make sure you've got good oxygen flow going in your lungs. And follow me closely. Ready? Breathe in. Hold it. Slowly breathe out. And then you keep repeating that. You did something called mindfulness. You slowed down your brain and your breathing, and instead of focusing on what happened last night or worried about deadlines for the next week, you lived in the present moment. You've given your body a chance to slow down. The second B is body. This exercise we're going to do when you're feeling a lot of chaos and anxiety going on around you, even if you're anxious over something good and you just need a minute to take a minute. You like to do this with me? Yes, right? Okay, here we go. So you will definitely need the backs to your chairs if you have them. So sit up tall, use it as a backrest. There are 3 parts to the body pretzel. The first part's super simple. You simply cross your ankles. You just brought mindfulness to your body and help with restless leg syndrome. The second part is a little more detailed. It goes like this. Put your hands out in front of you with palms facing. Now twist them so thumbs are down. Bring the hand of your choice up and over, grab your fingers, rotate it under, rest it on either side that you want. We see some of you naturally doing this. You can do this or keep your head up, personal preference, right? But there are 3 parts to the body pretzel. The third part is you will bring your tongue and rest it on the roof of your mouth. We're going to do this for 1 minute. You can close your eyes or you can leave it open. Ready? Begin. Now that our minute is over, that was like the fastest minute in history, right? Okay, unroll your hands and you'll rest it on the lap in front of you. You just brought mindfulness again and the fetal position, helping you to feel safe. Giving yourself a minute to take a minute. But the third beat is balance. If I were to ask you, how heavy is this cup of water? Some of you might say, oh, maybe 12 ounces, 16 are in there. The reality is, how heavy it is isn't determined by the weight, it's determined by how long I hold onto it. This represents our stresses in life, our regrets, our unmet expectations. I could hold on to this for a while, but in about an hour, my arm's gonna be pretty tired. In fact, in about a day, my arm's gonna be numb and in pain, and I'm gonna be so hyper-focused on what's happening here, I won't be able to think about anything else. Sound familiar? So when we say balance, people naturally think, there! Now you're balanced, right? Like, great, now I have stress over here, and we'll say road rage or anger management issues over here, right? It doesn't feel right, and it doesn't look right. We're not seesaws or teeter-totters. Did you know in the last few years, life expectancy has gone down? We're not living as long as we used to, for the first time in over 100 years. One of the things they attribute it to is despair. An interesting word, isn't it? We've got to give ourselves permission to put the cup down. When we say balance, even a seesaw has a middle piece called a pivot. Our middle piece is our brains and our body working together, our mental health and our physical health. Have you ever heard the term self-care is not selfish? You heard that? That's what we're talking about here, is giving yourself permission to fail, permission to get back up again, permission to be scared, to grieve, giving yourself permission to take a minute, to have a minute. And then a wise old sage said, it's a marvel to me, we pay far greater attention to rescuing results than to stopping the cause. And we much better aim at prevention. Now that you've learned 3 ounces of prevention, the brain, the body, and balance, you too can be, as my mama always said, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. And don't forget to put the cup down. Thank you.